A departed friend by Julia Ann Moore. He is sleeping, sounding sleeping in the cold and silent tomb. He is resting, sweetly resting in perfect peace all alone. He has left us, God bereft us, and his will must well be done. To grieve us and bereave us to think of his noble son. While on earth he done his duty to all his fellow men, some misdemeanors of office they often used to pen. He was witty, always happy, kind and genuine in his way. He was generous in his actions, and his honor could display. He has held many an office, and has done his duty well, and his name will be remembered by friends that knew him well. Friends are weeping, softly weeping, in his kind and loving home. Let him slumber, sweetly slumber, and God calls him from the tomb. Be kind to the little ones, by Julia Ann Moore. Be kind to all little ones, all fathers, mothers dear. Be kind to your little ones, with little hearts to cheer. For oh, you know not how soon the place will vacant be. If God should call one to his home, your conscience would be free. Their little forms are tender, they're at your mercy now. They need your kind attention to watch them every hour. While they are little infants, my friends, take time to spare, and will forget an instant to give them tender care. God, he never did intend you to misuse your child. When it souls to you he sends to bless you for a while. If you always will be kind to them, sweet little ones, oh, the blessing you will find in after years to come. You never, never will repent, dear friend, for being kind. As the little ones to you were sent, and always be in mind that God may call your little ones and leave you here behind. Oh, what a happy thought will come, I always have been kind. Christmas by Julia Ann Moore. Hail the coming holiday, for hearty joyous feast, and drive away sorrow, friends, for a day or two at least. For a day or two at least. Lay all business cares aside, make a world resound with music and festivals throughout our merry town. Every person in our land always to heaven raise, and welcome Christ's birthday with everlasting praise. Praise him who died upon the cross, our sinning souls to save, the great Redeemer, Christ our Lord, that dwells beyond the grave. Should meet in reverence and God's commands obey, and make each other happy throughout the holiday. And not forget the orphans, the aged or the blind, the rich, the poor and needy, to each one pray be kind. May every parent in the land hail Christmas Day with joy, and forget the present for the little girls and boys. We are looking forth anxiously for Santa Claus to come, and fill their little stockings with toys and sugar plums. God grant a Merry Christmas Eve and Happy Christmas Day to every person in the land, at home or far away. A festive day will soon be here, alas, will soon be over. Welcome, welcome, the coming of Christmas Day once more. Dear love, do you remember? Julia Ann Moore. Dearest one, do you remember, as we sat side by side, you told me that you loved me, asked me to be your bride. You told me we'd be happy for all the years to come, if you ever would prove faithful, some of the days when we were young. How well do I remember the kind and loving words, now as I sat dreaming, the thoughts my memory stirs. As the days have passed before me in the scenes of long ago, I can never forget the days that have passed over. Oh, how clearly I remember the days when we were young, how we would tell to each other of happy times to come, as we would sit together, the dear loved one and I, or sit dreaming of a future and childhood days gone by. Dearest love, do you remember the first time that we met? Our youthful days have gone, love, I hope you love me yet. Now we are growing old, love, our heads will soon be grey. May we ever love each other till from earth we pass away. Early Days of Rockford by Julia Ann Moore. Friends, I pray you listen, I'll sing a little song about the village of Rockford. It will not take me long. And how it was first settled by enterprising men, and all the news about it I'll tell you if I can. Situated in the wilderness, with forests all around, 13 miles from Grand Rapids is this flourishing town. On the banks of Rough River, where runs the water still, and the early settled days was called Lamphamville. First settled by Smith Lapham in 1843, and came the Hunter brothers to keep him company. Lapham and Hunter brothers built each a shingle mill. The banks of Rough River are the same old buildings still. In the early days of Rockford, they had to run a stage. They had no other conveyance to get from place to place. Now we go by railway, the cars run night and day. The early days of Rockford have nearly passed away. 4th of July by Julia Ann Moore. 4th of July, how sweet it sounds as every year it rolls around. It brings active joy to boy and man, this glorious day throughout our land. We hail this day with joy and pride, and speak of our forefathers who died. who fought for liberty in days of yore and drove the British from our shore. We as descendants of a race should not know our land disgrace. Arise, freemen, arise once more, be earnest as in the days of yore. Grand Rapids Cricket Club by Julia Ann Moore. Grand Rapids is a handsome club of men that cricket play, as fine a set of skilful men that can their skill display. And while the champions of the West, I think they are quite fine, have won 100 honors, well, it is their most cunning design. Bravo Kelso he is considered great, chief of the club he is found. Great crowds he draws to see him bowl the ball upon the ground. Mr. Follett is very brave, a lighter player than the rest. He got struck severe at the fairground, for which he took a rest. When Mr. Dennis does well play, his courage is full great, and accidents still occur, but not much above of late. This ball play is a dangerous game, brave knights to play it though. Those boys would be the nation's pride, if way to war would go. From Milwaukee the club did come, with thoughts of skill at play, but beat their wars, and then went home, had nothing more to say. Grand Rapids Club that cricket play will soon be known afar, but prouder do the members stand, like many a noble star. Grand Rapids, Julia Ann Moore. Wild roved the Indians once on the banks of Grand River. They built their little huts down by that flowing river. In the Pleasant Valley fair, where flows the river Rapid, an Indian village once was where now stands Grand Rapids. Indian girls and boys were seen with bow and quiver, riding in the light canoes up and down the river. Their hearts are full of joy, happy voices singing, and music with forest birds that kept the valley ringing. Indians have left and gone beyond the Mississippi. They call the river Washtenaw, where stands the Pleasant City. Louis Campan, the first white man, bought land in Grand Rapids. He lived and died an honored man by people of Grand Rapids. Campan came to the valley, no bridge was across the river. Indians in their little canoes rowed them over the water. Railroads now from every way run through the city, Grand Rapids. The largest town in West Michigan is the city of Grand Rapids. I wonder where my papa is. Julia Ann Moore. I wonder where my papa is, or where could he have gone? I wonder why he does not come and sees Lily long. He would come and sit by me when the fever burned my brow. I wonder where my papa is, for he comes not near me now. I hear no more the footpace in the hall by my door, where he would gently, gently tread upon the oaken floor. His place is vacant by the hearth, where stands his easy chair. I hear no more his loving voice raising the evening prayer. The last time I saw my papa, dear, was just 5 days ago. He took me in his arms and said, "You're getting better slow. Thank God, my little lily pet will soon be well again, and run about the house and play with little Nettie Lane." I wonder where my papa is, or where could he have gone? It cannot be he has forgotten his little Lily long. Now he never would have left me and mamma without aid. I fear my papa has fallen a victim of a plague. The mother listened to her child, heart filled with pain, to yet laugh and mourn for him who would never come again. Tears were falling from her eyes, her bosom heaved a sigh. Little Lily asked in wonder, "Mamma dear, what makes you cry?" "Dearest Lily, must I tell you that your papa is no more, that he cannot come and see you and caress you as of yore? He has gone to live with Jesus in the heavenly home above, there dwelling the blessed in God's everlasting love." Lily listened to her mother, she uttered not a sound. On her little pale cheeks softly tears began to trickle down. At last she sweetly murmured, "Mamma dear, you and I must live so we can meet papa in heaven by and by." "Yes, my child," the mother answered, "your words are very true. While live on earth we should keep the heavenly land in view. And bright on earth will be our future, bright as a shining star. We will live and love together till we reach that home afar. Libby Prison by Julia Ann Moore. Down south the Libby Prison stood, a rebel's filthy den. Rebs and battle prisoners took, of course, our Union men. Our brave boys, hearty and hale, to prison had to go, and few have lived to tell the tale of misery and woe. This prison was a horrid place, many brave boys died there. In rags and filth and wretchedness they died for want of care. Many a brave and noble man, as he lay sick and sore, was thinking of his friends and home he never would see more. Fathers, brothers, young husbands dear, went through this prison door. Some lived to return home, we hear, and others are no more. Many a noble soldier died in Libby prison cell, and comrades perished side by side, as many a man can tell. No living hand was near couch to bow an aching head, no living friend to watch the hours soothe a dying bed, no friend to wipe the fallen tears from off a dewy face, no loving kindred was there near to mark their resting place. Little Andrew, Julia Ann Moore. Andrew was a little infant. His life was 2 years old. He was his parents' eldest boy, and he was drowned, I was told. His parents never more can see him in this world of grief and pain. Oh, we will not forget him, while on earth they do remain. On one bright and pleasant morning his uncle thought it would be nice to take his dear little nephew down to play upon a raft, where he was to work upon it, and this little child would company be. A raft of water rushed around it, yet he the danger did not see. This little child he knew no danger, its little soul was free from sin. He was looking in the water when alas this child fell in. When the raft the water took him, for the current was so strong, and before they could rescue him he was drowned and was gone. All sad were his kind parents, and we saw the drowned child, as they brought him from the water, it almost made their hearts grow wild. How mournful was the parting from the little infant son. Friends, I pray you, all take warning, be careful of your little ones. Little Charlie Hates by Julia Ann Moore. Little Charlie Hates has gone to the will of God above. There live the little angel throne in perfect peace and love. His little spirit now is free, free from all earthly pain. His little form no more can be in the bright earth again. His little life was short on earth, being but 3 years old. His little form so full of mirth, never could earth enfold. In her embrace she gently keeps, his form she calls her own. The sweetly sleeping his last sleep quietly all alone. His laughing eyes of violet blue are close in deep repose. His curly hair of coal-black hue is little haired and close. In beauty he was bright and fair, he was his friend's delight. They miss his footsteps everywhere from morning until night. That innocent voice full of glee on earth is heard no more. That precious soul from sin is free and will be evermore. His parents mourn for Charlie dear, the loving little one, and oft times they will shed a tear for the little infant son. Little Libbie by Julia Ann Moore. One more little spirit to heaven has flown to dwell in that mansion above. The dear little angels together roam in God's everlasting love. One little flower has withered and died, and but near ready to bloom. Its life on earth is marked with pride, or said it should die so soon. Sweet little Libbie, that precious flower, was the pride in the parents' home. The miss the little girl every hour was friends left to mourn. A sweet silver voice no more is heard in the home where she once roamed. A place is vacant around the hearth, where her friends are mourning alone. They're mourning the loss of a little girl with black eyes and auburn hair. She was a treasure to them in this world of beautiful child so fair. On morning in April a short time ago, Libbie was active and gay. The Saviour called as she had to go over the close of that pleasant day. While eating dinner, this dear little child was choked on a piece of beef. Doctors came and tried their skill a while, but none could give relief. She was 10 years of age, I am told, and in school stood very high. Her little form now the earth enfolds, in embrace it must ever lie. Her friends and schoolmates will not forget little Libbie that is no more. She's waiting on the shining step to welcome home friends once more. Little Susan by Julia Ann Moore. Once there was a little girl and her friends laughed her dear. Her parents laughed for a little one, she did their hearts cheer. They laughed the little darling, as with them she did roam. They called her little Susan, the pride of her home. Blue eyes had little Susan, and light flaxen hair. She was a pleasant child to see, so beautiful and fair. With a parent she will never more on earth them roam. They laughed for little Susan, the pride of her home. Parents had more children, there were 9 of them all. By 8 of them living, for God but one called. The flower of her family got called to his home, and was for little Susan, the pride of her home. Her friends will not forget her, for she died years ago. It was John H. Moore's daughter, her age was 4 years old. She's waiting in heaven, waiting for her friends to come, and be with her little Susan, the pride of her home. Lost and Found by Julia Ann Moore. In the Southern city lived a wealthy family. The Southern city was the happy home of a father and mother and their little daughter. In peace and contentment they lived alone. But one summer evening there happened a misfortune which caused the parents to weep and mourn. For this little daughter, a loving little treasure, was a poor little wanderer far, far from home. It happened thus: the mother went out calling on a widow friend who lived all alone. She left the little daughter in the care of her father, and through his neglect she wandered from home. Her father rocked his child till her eyes closed in slumber. Thought he to himself, I'll go over across the way and see a neighbor friend. He'll be there this evening, and I must see him before he goes away. He left his little one, he supposed, sweetly sleeping in a little cradle in the house alone, and in his great hurry left the gate ajar, whose thoughtlessness caused destruction to his home. Soon after he was gone, she awoke from her slumber, poor child. She went and found herself all alone, for no one was there, no one heard her weeping as she wandered away far, far from home. She wandered along on the busy thoroughfare, no one seemed to notice this little one alone. She wandered down Broadway till the little feet were tired, this poor little wanderer far away from home. At last getting away, she sat down on the pavement, and soon fell asleep, so tired had she grown. In troubled sleep she would softly murmur, Papa, this poor little lost one so far away from home. A policeman came along and saw her sweetly sleeping on the pavement at midnight alone. He gently picked her up and took her to the station, this poor little wanderer far away from home. He advertised, but could not find the parents. At last he took her to the orphan home, where she lived till a farmer in the country took her to live with him, this wanderer alone. The father died over the loss of his daughter, the mother sought for her 3 years alone. At last she found her with kind people in the country, a poor little wanderer far away from home. Kind people can imagine the joy of a mother when she found a little loving one. "Oh God," exclaimed the mother, "I have found my little Alice, my poor little wanderer far away from home." Minnie's Departure by Julia Ann Moore. Dearest Minnie, she has left us in this world of grief and woe. With the scorn that has bereft us, she called her little soul to go. Minnie's gone to dwell in heaven, where bright little angels reign. Her little soul has reached a haven, where there's no grief and pain. God will bless his little treasures, one by one will come to him. While she's left this world forever, we will put our trust in him. Oh, we loved our little dear one, it's no human tongue can tell. God has called her to come to him, yet he doth all things well. 'Twas hard for us to leave her in a little grave so low, leave that little silent sleeper, but 'tis there we all must go. I will miss our little treasure, and the loss we deeply feel, and we think she's gone forever, tears from our eyes will steal. My Infant Days by Julia Ann Moore. When I was a little infant, and I lay in mother's arms, when I felt the gentle pressure of a loving mother's arms. Go to sleep, my little baby, go to sleep. Mamma would say, oh, will not my little lady go to sleep for my day? Oh, my parents loved me dearly, for I was the eldest born, and were always called me Julia in a mild and loving form. My parents will not forget me, for I married and left their home, and I can remember clearly how with them I once did roam. Oh, my mother, how I love her, though her head is growing grey, for in fancy I can see her bending on me night and day, as she did when I was little, watching me in sleep and play. Mother now is growing feeble, now I will her love repay. Oh, my father, how I love him, who has worked hard for me, for to earn my food and clothing in my little infancy. I will not forget him, while on earth I do remain, and the God of heaven bless him in this world of grief and pain. New Year by Julia Ann Moore. Farewell to the old year forever, and all its sorrows and care, it burn our hearts, and endeavour new troubles and trials to bear. The old year has gone with its sadness, in oblivion to dwell evermore. New year will come with its gladness, to welcome the rich and the poor. I welcome the new year with pleasure, and welcome home, friends that is dear. Be happy and joyful together, and greet each happy new year. Some people will meet in sadness, for death has entered their home, and rob them of joy and gladness, and let them forsaken and alone. Young people not meet in sorrow, with a hearts that blithesome and gay. Trouble will come with tomorrow, so let them be happy today. Farewell to the old year forever, lay its sorrows aside with tear. Think of a future, and endeavour to greet each happy new year. Springtime is coming, by Julia Ann Moore. Beautiful spring is coming, yes, will soon be here. The clear bright sun is shining, all human hearts to cheer. And the brightest gems of nature is the orb that how shines. Of a wide creation I'll shine to the end of time. And birds will soon be singing on shrub and bough of trees, the notes will soon be ringing out forth so merrily. We love the merry springtime, those little birds we love the pleasant sunshine that comes down from above. We can hear them sweetly singing from early morn till night. They make music in the woodland, those little birds so bright. You should dearly love them, those little harmless things, and if we hear their music, we know that it is spring. Ah, it's pleasant in the springtime, when nature seems so gay. Bright flowers in the sunshine, sweet fragrance can display. The hills and dales and meadows, so beautifully covered o'er, with nature's richest verdure of green grass as of yore. Winter will soon be over with its cold and chilly winds. It is sad and dreary ever, yet it's dying free from sin. Now the springtime is coming, I guess will soon be here. We will welcome in its coming in this glad new year. The Brave Volunteer, Julia Ann Moore. At the time of the rebellion between the North and South, many a noble volunteer Kent County did send out. Among was Schuyler Davis, a hailed from Oakfield town, enlisted in the service his native land to shield. This brave and noble volunteer, he left his home and friends, who dearly loved his country, he went for Michigan. Not thinking when he went down south, the Federal ranks to fill, that he would lay in prisons, Belials to Andersonville. In prison cells lamenting, for 17 months he lay, thinking of the dear ones at home so far away. He lay in prison suffering, and a friend to hear him moan. A living, walking skeleton he was when he come home. He was discharged in Kansas, the place called Fort Leavenworth. And he did return to Oakfield, the place he first went forth. How joyful were his parents when they saw their little lost one. The God of heaven was merciful to let return their son. The flag, by Julia Ann Moore. See the glorious stars and stripes floating over there. See how gracefully they wave the summer air. We love to see that starry flag wave in peace with ease, and its colors, red, white, and blue, unfurled to the breeze. God grant that flag may ever wave our native land, where sons of freemen are united in a happy band, to celebrate the glorious Fourth, the day we should adore. Hail each anniversary day, now and evermore. Our fathers fought to benefit the flag in the days of yore, to gain the freedom from British laws which they could not endure. The cry was went for liberty on land and on sea. They gained the glorious victory, our country now is free. The land of Columbia's sons today is filled with joy. Every heart should beat as one in the blessings we enjoy. We should love our native land where our fathers died. We should keep the country free, the early pilgrim's pride. See the glorious stars and stripes waving over there. See the starry emblem, friends, floating in the air. Proud it waves o'er our land, it has waved for years. May every freeman greet that flag by free rosing cheers. The Great Chicago Fire, by Julia Ann Moore. The Great Chicago Fire, friends, will never be forgot. In the history of Chicago it will remain a darkened spot. It was a dreadful, horrid sight to see the city in flames, when a human aid could save it, for its skill was tried in vain. In the year of 1871, in October on the 8th, the people in that city then was full of life and great. Less than 4 days it lay in ruins, that garden city, so greatly smouldering in ashes, in a sad and pitiful state. It was a sad scene indeed, to see the fire arise, and hear the crackling of the flames as it almost reached the skies, and sadder still to hear the moans of people in the flames cry for help, and none could get or die where they remained. To see the people run for life up and down the blazing streets, to find them their escape cut off with the fire flaming sheets, and others hunting for some friend that perhaps they never found, such weeping, wailing never was known for thousands miles around. Some people were very wealthy on the morning of the 10th. At the close of the evening was poor, but felt content, glad to escape from harm with life by friends they loved so well. Some will try to gain more wisdom by the sad sight they beheld. 5,000 people were homeless, sat wanderers in the streets, with no shelter to cover them, and no food had they to eat. I wandered down by the lakeside, lay down on the cold damp ground, so tired and weary and homeless, so the rich the poor was found. Mothers with their dear little infants, some clinging to the breast, people of every description, all laid down there to rest. The sky as a covering, pillows they had none. Sad, oh sad, it must have been for those poor homeless ones. Neighboring cities sent comfort to the poor lone helpless ones, and God will not forget them in all the years to come. Now the city of Chicago is built up anew once more, and may it never be visited with such a great fire no more. The Orphan's Friend, Julia Ann Moore. Come, all kind, good people, with sympathizing hearts, come listen to a few kind words a friend to you imparts. Be kind to an orphan child, and always be its friend. It will be happy in this world, and will be to the end. Be kind to the motherless, little motherless ones, for God will forever bless you in this world to come. No kind and loving mother to soothe the little bro, be kind to them always, friends, have no mother, no. Be kind to the fatherless, ever you may find one little one that is friendless, I pray you all be kind. What has no loving father to speak with mild reproof, or guide its youthful footsteps in honesty and truth? Be kind to the little orphans, have no parents dear. Be kind to the little orphans, speak to them words of cheer, and they will always love you for kind and gentle words, and God will ever bless you, for he says so in his word. The Southern Scourge, by Julia Ann Moore. The yellow fever was raging down in the sunny south, and many of the cities there was the death at every house. The plague of war was raging, with the lives of people where the young and old were stricken down and lay in sad despair. No comfort, all was misery, and many a soul found home. And once was peace and quietness, now in distress are thrown. For death the houses visited and caused the inmates to mourn the loss of some dear loving friend, and on earth no more shall roam. Some people in delirium have wandered from their home, have wandered to a vacant house, and where have died alone. Have no kind friend to care for them, or close their dying eyes. O God, in horrid misery hundreds of people died. With many whole families taken down sick in the day, with no one to care for them, and death had passed away. As spirits arose to God above, where sickness is no more, where peace and comfort will reign on heaven's blissful shore. There's many a southern city today is filled with woe, and many of the inhabitants have wandered to and fro, to nurse the sick and dying, the dead for the grave prepare. They try to do their duty with hearts filled with despair. The whole association have been doing all they can to keep the plague from raging throughout the southern land. They nursed the sick, they fed the poor, they work both night and day, with brave band and the Southern Scourge heroic courage display. This noble band of charity have went from house to house to ease the sad misery of the sufferers at the south. Sad scenes of death and suffering each day they must endure, as the daily rounds they went among the afflicted poor. The noble and orphan people have helped them all they can in money, food and clothing, which they had at their command. There's many a southern person to bless this holy band for the noble deeds of charity to the sufferers of their land. The Temperance Army by Julia Ann Moore. Come all your friends and citizens, ere you may be. Come listen to a few kind words a friend will say to thee. Or we're going to speak to you, I mean you all no harm. I wish you join the army of the temperance reform. Come join the glorious army of the temperance reform. Every man that joins the ranks will find it is no harm. To wear that ribbon on his breast, to show to this rare world, he has one to join the army, and his colors has unfurled. Come a man in our nation, come join this happy band, and make your homes an Eden throughout our happy land. Your homes will then be happy, your friends will all be kind, and the domestic circle true happiness will find. From this temperance army your feet shall never stray, your mind will then be balmy, if you keep the shining way. Your paths are strewn with flowers, and your homes a rosy light, and God will watch the hours, for he is ever on the right. Come all ye merry happy lads, and listen to the rhyme, don't be afraid to join the pledge, and let be the curses wine. And lay the flowing bowl aside, and pass saloons if you can, that the people see that you can be a sober man. Go join the temperance army, and battle for the right, and fight against the enemy with all your main and might. But it's a glorious army, this temperance reform, and the badge red ribbon will do you all no harm. The Two Brave Soldiers by Julia Ann Moore. My friends, I pray you listen, a story I will tell, of two noble soldiers who were known full well. They were killed in the rebellion, as you shall plainly hear, those brave and noble soldiers no danger did they fear. They enlisted in Grand Rapids in 1862, 'twas in the month of August, about the middle two. These two brave noble soldiers that joined the cavalry, they fought to save the country, united it yet may be. One of them a single man, his name was Martin House. The other one was married, his name I tell you now. Abram Bishop was his name. He was a Christian man, two soldiers were brave, and they hailed from Michigan. And they left the native place, their friends to them that say, do not go to war, boys, you'd better with us stay. If you join the army, you never will return. To all your friends that love you, you never will return. Young House spoke unto his friends, I'd rather go, said he. I have no wife and children to weep and mourn for me. Our country calling for sons of liberty, I, for one, must go, friends, a coward I cannot be. We are not afraid of fighting the rebels, no, not we. We're born to make our country a place for slaves to be. Fathers fought before us to gain our liberty, and we, the sons of freedom, must fight to keep it free. Farewell, farewell to all our friends, and we may leave behind. If we do never return, we pray you be in mind. If God sees fit to call us, we're not afraid to die. Our country she is calling, we must bid you all goodbye. It was in old Virginia those noble soldiers fell, the battle of Town, as many a man can tell. They fought through many battles, obeyed their captain's call. Alas, the missiles struck them and caused them both to fall. To my friends and critics, by Julia Ann Moore. Come all you friends and critics and listen to my song. What I will say to you, it will not take me long. The people talks about me, they've nothing else to do but to criticize the neighbors, they have me now in view. Perhaps they talk for meanness, perhaps it is in jest. If I leave out their freeness, it would suit me now the best. To keep the good old maxim, I find it hard to do. It is to do for others as you wish them do to you. Perhaps you'll read the papers containing my interview. Hope you kind good people will not believe it true. Some editors of the papers thought it would be wise and write a column about me, so filled it up with lies. The papers have ridiculed me a year and a half or more, such a slander as the interview I never read before. Some reporters and editors are versed in telling lies, others, it seems, are willing to let industry rise. The people of good judgment may read the papers through and rely on its truth without a candid view. A first attempt at literature is a sweet singer by name. I wrote the book without a thought of a future or fame. Dear friends, I write for money with a kind heart and hand. I wish to make no enemies throughout my native land. Kind friends, now close my rhyme and lay my pen aside. Between me and my critics, I leave you to decide. Unfortunate, by Julia Ann Moore. Fold her hands upon her breast and let her sweetly sleep. She's found a perfect rest beneath her winning sheet. There your limbs are now at rest and free from toil and pain. A soul from earth has left, but in heaven lives again. Death has closed her mild blue eyes, and once was full of mirth. A lovely form once full of life will now return to earth. Touch her gently, let her lie, this forsaken girl forlorn. Tears may fall from strangers' eyes to her silent form. She was a poor erring girl, a wanderer alone. Friends she had none in this world, nor a place she could call home. She's found a home bright and fair in the world above. Angels dwell together there in perfect peace and love. Place her gently in the grave, and let her sweetly sleep. Judge her not, for he who gave her life, his soul will keep.